There are two things I love most. That's mobile gaming and PC gaming. Oh, and my wife. I really love my wife, but she's not a thing, is she? Alright, I'm in the clear. Mobile gaming for the go anywhere playability, and PC gaming for the action blasting real to play experiences. Well folks, now I get to combine the two. This is where the Aya Neo comes into play, a dedicated handheld PC that will help me get through most of my Steam backlog. Now I can play PC games on the go. While this isn't the first ever handheld PC, this is my first foray into handheld PC gaming. I won't be reviewing this device, as I'm not the go-to expert in the realm of whatever realm this is, so don't expect a full breakdown. Yet I do want to talk about it, not because you absolutely need to hear about it, but because I want to share something a tad bit different, something that makes me joyous about the future of handheld gaming. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Aya Neo. Before we get started, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Tiny Little Games is a source for random mobile game gibberish. Don't let this video fool you. By subscribing to Tiny Little Games, you will be amazed at all the mobile game commentary available. So join Team Tiny today, because I'm begging you. Okay, back to the video. Let's get the obvious out of the way. Comparisons to the Nintendo Switch are rampant, yet do not let the controller layout distract you. This meaty monster is far more capable than the Switch will ever be, at least until a proper next-gen Switch is available. I guess this is where I should talk about the specs. This Aya Neo is considered the Pro version. This device is rocking an AMD Ryzen 7 4800U. I do not know what that means. I know it's a CPU-GPU combo. It's a processor used in a lot of laptops, and while not the most blazing fast or the best in graphical capabilities, the Neo is no slouch. More on that later. Just don't ask me about all the gigahertz, megahertz, and floppy flops. Remember, I'm no Linus. The screen is an IPS 800p touch display, a slight step above 720p. It comes with 16 gigs of RAM and a 1TB hard drive. Now all the other ins and outs might as well be magic. Okay, I'm being facetious, as I don't want to spend a ton of time talking about the specs. What is most important is how well, or not well, games play on the Neo. Before we get to the games, I want to touch on the layout and design. Get it? Touch. The thumbsticks are nice and fluid, the buttons are as good as any, the triggers are just like triggers, and the implementation of these extra buttons are very helpful. The reason you see these Windows keys, Task Manager keys, and more is because this is basically a PC running Windows 10, so the added interface really helps in navigating the system. The touchscreen is also a must for all the same reasons. Holding this device will give you Sylvester Stallone forearms, as this is not a light as a feather unit. It's a beefy beast with some heft. That's not a complaint, just an observation. Okay, enough already. Let's play some games. I need to give a disclaimer beforehand. The Aya Neo is not going to be some AAA handheld that plays the latest games at max settings, with ray tracing and all the other fancy buzzwords you can think of. And going into this thinking that is going to disappoint you more than the release of Cyberpunk 2077. However, with the right mindset, you'll be surprised at what can be achieved. By tweaking graphical settings on games, you can play most if not all games released as of late. Heck, I've seen newer games like Far Cry 6 played on this device, with ultra low settings of course. Yet I didn't get the Neo to play the latest and greatest. I got it to play games I either never finished or may have missed due to time constraints. Let's go over some examples. Here I am playing Ori and the Will of the Wisp. It's like a dream on this device, constantly hitting 90 frames per second. Rise of the Tomb Raider is actually playable. Maybe I'll finally get all the achievements. I've always wanted to finish Far Cry New Dawn, even if it's in potato mode. How about every single Yakuza game? I can finally check off my bucket list of playing all the Yakuza games. I've never finished Final Fantasy XI. Well, the Neo allows me to slowly slice away at its content, even if I'm having trouble getting it to work in full screen. Maybe I'll finally finish the ultimate ending for Nier Replicant. Yeah, right. Or even take a stab at replaying Fallout 4 as a bad dude. Heck, I'm downloading Monster Hunter World as we speak. Gaming on the Neo is like achieving a goal, or more like a tool at your disposal to achieve that goal. Sure, sacrifices and fidelity are made for some titles, yet it's a small price to pay for portability. This will become my dedicated RPG machine, my every so often side-scrolling platformer device, my let me try this new indie game on the go machine, or my test the waters on a new release testing unit, and more importantly, a device I can take with me wherever I go. It's not all about what games I'm playing, but when and where I can play them. Now you're wondering about battery life, aren't you? It can squeeze out about 2 hours on a full charge, and lowering the power plan can extend that. So while not the most extensive, it's just enough for lunch break sessions, doctor office visits, and couch play while my wife binge watches Vampire Diaries. The Neo provides spurts of on-the-go gaming. You may have to spend the time to tweak the settings, but once that balance is found, a whole PC gaming experience in the palm of your hands is achieved. To say I'm impressed is an understatement. I'm totally in love with this device, and I do not regret backing it on Indiegogo. I haven't even discussed the emulation capabilities. Those familiar with emulation will know you can probably run a whole host of games on this bad boy. I'm already considering getting Breath of the Wild working on it. Now I want to be abundantly clear. While this all sounds like a glowing review, it's really not. I set out to talk about the Neo. I gave a semi-overview of it, but if you're wondering if you should run out and purchase it, the answer is probably no. I backed this device because I believed in the dream. I wanted to experience the realization of that dream, but a purchase of the Neo will run you anywhere between 900 USD and 1200 USD. That's no chump change. Listen, the Aya Neo is for a very, and I mean very specific audience. Those looking for what a PS Vita 2 would look like, and those willing to splurge a savings account on it to do so. Those that want the latest piece of tech, or those that don't have a gaming PC and feel like this might be the right purchase. I just want people to be aware of what they're getting into. This won't replace a dedicated PC, or give you the flexibility of a mobile device. This is for a niche market, and I'm pretty sure the folks at Aya are fully aware of that. The Neo will not fit all lifestyles. It should only be considered a purchase for those with the means to do so, and the knowledge of what the Neo can provide. The Steam Deck is right around the corner, and from what I've read, the GPU on that device is more powerful, and for some reason the device is less expensive. I just want people to discover the mobile PC market, watch it as it grows into something special, and who knows, maybe 5 years from now we'll all be playing on a handheld PC, or even better, our mobile devices will be just as powerful if not more powerful than these devices. So there, we took a look at the Aya Neo. Now it's time for me to play Mass Effect while I sit on the toilet and tell my wife, "This is a big one, hun. I'm gonna be a while." As always, thanks for watching Tiny Little Games. Please subscribe to support my channel, like for more random videos, and ring that notification bell for video updates. Fun fact, I can't wait to see what the Aya Neo 2 has in store for us.